Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. Welcome back to another edition, and we are excited because all the way from Florida, Joseph Griffin from Taxdeed Wolf Academy is on the show today. He's a retired nurse at the age of 29, building generational wealth for his family and community, passion for tax deed investing and educating others on how to excel in the world of real estate. Welcome to the show. So good to have him on today. Joseph, mate, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, James.
So retired nurse, talk to me about that journey from when you first started, obviously back then, and moving into real estate. What's that been like?
I started my career actually in the army. All right, I was in the military, and they sent me to medic school, then they sent me to nursing school. And after two tours, just working in the hospital, and I'm looking around and we're all stressed out, right? We're just stressed, and we're like, oh man, I gotta be back tomorrow. And then we want to go for drinks after every shift, and it's just like, man, is this really life? Could I see myself doing this until I'm like 60 plus? And something was like, no, there's definitely more. I saw these doctors and they were investing in real estate. One doctor was telling me about this multifamily he had and how he's making all this money. And I'm like, why am I not doing this? So, long story short, once I found out about tax deed investing, and I'm able to, get property for as little as $3,000, sometimes less. Houses I've gotten for just 500 bucks, and that was my way out. I didn't want to clock in and clock out anymore. I wanted to pretty much get back my time for myself, and so that's what made that transition.
Wow, fantastic. And I bet you feel a lot freer for making that and looking back at those probably still in the hospital, still doing those crazy hours too, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of them are reaching out to me now. They want to come invest in real estate now. So yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So explain to, because we have a lot of people from Australia who may not be aware of tax deed investing. Talk to me about what that specifically is.
Okay, so first off, just so you know, you don't have to live in the States to do investing. I actually have clients all over the world that actually come buy property here. So what happens is over here in the US, whenever we own property, we have to pay property taxes. When these property taxes are not paid, the local municipalities, the counties will come in and they will seize these properties and sell them at auction. So we are able to come in to these auctions and get the properties. The opening bid is usually just what's owed in back taxes. So opening bid may just be $1,500, $2,000. There's some, as low as opening bid $100. So we're able to come in. In a lot of cases, these individuals may have passed. They have no heirs. These properties have just been sitting, grass is growing, or it's just empty land. No one's touching it. So we come in. Haven't had to kick anyone out of their house to this day. So I'm coming in. We're getting vacant properties. We're selling them as soon as we buy them. There's so much equity, so we sell them as is without touching them and still make pretty decent profits.
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And so, how did you become aware? So, was it from this doctor that you were aware of this process, or did you further do some more study? How did you make that transition to doing this full time?
Yeah, so when I was overseas in 2015. 2015, I was on my second tour And my squad leader actually brought it up to me. We were making like a little bit of good money, all right? At the time, I thought it was a lot of money. But because we were overseas, it was tax-free money. We're like, hey, we're making all this good money. What are we gonna do with it? And so everybody's just like throwing out their brainstorming. And my squad leader mentioned tax deed investing. Ironically enough, his name's Joseph too. And he mentioned, hey, have you guys heard of this? And we're all like, no way, isn't that? There's no way that's possible. And when I got home, I didn't jump in right away, but a couple of years later, I decided to go all in, and there were no coaches. There weren't, honestly, a lot of people haven't heard of this. So I was doing a lot of Google. There was no Chat GPT at this time, right? Like I'm like, Google, the county site says this, I'm trying to find people on YouTube. YouTube says that. And unfortunately, I kind of just had to dive in. I literally just had to just dive in. I went to my first auction, got my first property for $3,100. It was a quarter acre of land. $3,100, and I sold it to another investor who's a developer, sold it to him for 10,000. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I just made $7,000. Wow. And then my second piece of land I got for $2,000. And so as I'm doing this process, I'm just learning, I'm making mistakes. I'm buying the wrong properties. I'm inheriting other liens that I didn't know about. So throughout this journey, I just developed this blueprint. And now it's so much so to the point where I'm just going in and just picking them out like it's candy. So, but it took a minute. It definitely took a minute to get that process down.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a great journey. And so I mean, now that you've got that experience and now that you're helping others, where do other people make the mistakes and fall down and don't get it right?
That's a really good question, James. So, these counties sell these properties as is. So when you buy them, they're not coming with like free and clear title. Nothing saying that, hey, you're buying this property and it's completely good to go. It's the complete opposite. It's saying you're taking all risk. No attorneys looked at this, no title companies looked at this, nothing. So where people go wrong is they buy properties that they never did the research on if they can even build on it, right? They buy property that ends up being wetlands. They buy property that has so many other liens. We're talking about the tax lien, but there could be so many other liens, mechanics liens, so many other debts that are tied to that property. So those are some of the biggest things we see. Or they buy something that doesn't really have much value. They don't know how to check the comparables. So they think because they got this for $5,000, it's a good deal, but it's actually only worth 1,000, right? So these are some of the common mistakes that I see newcomers do.
Yeah, great. That's so important because you've got to do that due diligence to really understand what's attached to it. What about some successes? You know, you've been helping some amazing people get some great wins. What have been some great stories that you can share with us around those successes? Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that between with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show.
Yeah, so the most successful thing that anyone can do, I like small wins. It doesn't have to be a grand slam, right? So one of the most successful things that we do with every new client that comes in, we focus on getting just start with a land parcel, right? Let's just go buy a piece of land so you can really get this process down. There's certain counties where we go, we kind of follow the money. All right, everybody likes to go to the bigger cities. we will go like 30 minutes outside of the bigger cities where, everything's expanding. So we like to come in early and just start buying things up. And then like the other bigger companies just kind of follow us. So we go in there, we buy these land parcels, and the goal is to establish a pipeline. So if there's a certain three builders in an area, what do builders want? They want land. So like, okay, cool. You're gonna take your money. If you don't have that much money, we're gonna leverage banking relationships and go, borrow some money from the banks, use that money, go buy up the land, and just keep selling them to the same builders in that area, figure out what their criteria is. And that's pretty, I don't like to say easy in real estate, but it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple money in a lot of cases. It can be pretty simple money. I'll say that.
That's fantastic. What would you recommend to someone who's thinking about getting into this area of investing, and just dipping their toes in and wanting to find out more? What would you recommend to them?
I definitely suggest that you look at as much information as possible first to make sure you really understand this. So, like for example, we have a YouTube channel, of course, right? Taxdeed Wolf Academy. Our Instagram, Taxdeed Wolf CEO, like really just go dive in. We have a ton of free classes, right? Just go look at it and make sure you understand the process. See if this is something that you can see yourself doing. Because one thing about real estate, my advice for everybody is to just understand that it's not a get rich quick. I know, I make it sound like it's so good. And a lot of us who have been in this game for years, we have the tendency to on social media, we're like, oh, this win, this win, this win, this win. But you don't always see the losses because we've already had those losses maybe years ago, right? So like you see our 20th win, not realizing that we had 19 losses, right? So that's the biggest advice I can give is come into this knowing that it's gonna be a process and it's gonna be real life, just like real life is. There are gonna be things that happen. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, just understand adversity is going to come and just get over it, deal
Yeah.
with it. Just have as many tools to deal with adversity as you possibly can.
And that's so true because that's life, right? It's how you deal with those adversities, how you get back, and then how you learn from them, and not make and hopefully not make them again. So, but that's like anything though. I can, like if it's business or investing or real estate, it's you're gonna have the ups and downs. That's it's just but how we deal with them, I guess.
Oh yeah, and people don't deal with that stuff too well these days.
Mm.
Back then, I mean, you lived in a tent and a bear could have came and just, completely destroyed your whole family and it's like, okay, let's start a new family. And
Yeah.
nowadays, it's raining outside and people don't know what to do.
It's so true. Oh, fantastic. So what's coming up for you? What are you excited about? What's some great projects over the next 12 months that you're potentially working on?
So we are, as far as there's a couple of things. So as far as events goes, we're in July. Sometime in August, I'm actually going to be having a 3-day virtual event. It's going to be absolutely free. So anybody listening to this, if you head over to our Instagram, Tax Wolf CEO, you will be able to get that link and register. It's free 3 days. I'll be breaking this stuff down step by step. You will leave this event knowing how to invest in tax deeds. I don't really hold anything back. Um, on top of that, I said two things, right? The next thing that we have coming up as far as us as business owners, we are looking to get some multifamilies. Man, that's something super exciting and I'm looking forward to. One property's cool, two properties cool, triplexes are cool, but man, to get 20 something units, I mean that that cash flow is just like, okay, cool, man. We just hit a grand slam on this one deal. So I'm very much forward looking to getting over 20 units. That's one of my next big goals.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, Joseph, on the show, we have our 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about yourself. Are you willing to play?
Yeah, I don't I have a timer. Do I have to answer my questions on time or I get buzzed out of here? Or
All good, all good. All right, so let's go. What's your favorite movie?
favorite movie. Oh man. Favorite movie right now. Dang. Put me on the spot and it's just like, dang, I can't think of not one movie right now. Um, um, Coach Carter.
Oh,
I'll
I
say
love
Coach
it.
Carter
That's
is
so good.
one of
So
my
good. One of the best. One of the
yeah,
best.
talk about
What,
adversity. Yeah.
exactly. What about favorite food?
Chinese food.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. Favorite holiday destination?
Holiday destination, my couch. I have four kids, and man, it's such a like trying to travel these days. We
That's
host
hectic.
everything at home now. Y'all can come over here, but I'm not moving.
Wow. Do you have a morning routine when you first get up in the morning? What happens for you?
A lot of people say they do make the bed and do all this. I do none of that. My morning routine is I get out of the bed, I go to the gym. That's the closest thing to a morning routine that I have is I work out every morning.
Yeah, nice. What about your evening routine?
Evening routine, spend time with my daughters. I have four daughters. Um,
Oh,
yeah, four daughters, spend time with my daughters, my wife, and
beautiful.
we usually watch something in the evening, wind down and then bed. Yeah, always looking forward to the bed.
Nice. Nice. Do you have a biggest regret?
Man, my biggest regret is that I didn't start buying real estate when I was like 15. That's that's my biggest. I wish I would have known about this so long ago and started building these banking relationships and just started buying up houses, man. That's my biggest regret.
Yeah, fantastic. And do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing moment. Actually, I would say probably one of my most embarrassing moments is in the military. Everybody was waiting on me. I was late to formation, and here I am, like running the formation, and then they're looking at me. Everybody's staring at me, the whole company, and like 100 something people. And before I knew it, my head was in the dirt and my feet were in the air. Right, it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments. By the time I made it to formation, I had grass all because I had tripped. So I tripped in this hole and fell in the hole, and my all they could see is my feet. So yeah, probably one of the most embarrassing moments in the day.
Oh, dear me, dear me. And if you were president for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
Did you say prisoner for the day or
President, president.
president? Oh man, if I were president for the day, I think one thing that I would change for the states is somehow, some way eliminate property taxes on personal residences. I think
Mm.
that's something that would be huge for us.
Yeah, that's what we got over here. Like where our your main residence, we don't pay what's called land tax, but
Mhm.
um, but for investment purpose, yes, yeah, there's a land tax component to it, unfortunately.
And
So
that's
yeah, but
crazy to say because I get properties because of these taxes, right?
I know,
Like, that's
right?
crazy for me to say. But yeah, eliminate properties on personal residences. There'll still be plenty of investment properties for us to go get.
Definitely, definitely. And what's your best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice for this day and age is man, put the phones down. That's probably gonna be my best. Like put the phones down. Have certain hours of each day where you're not scrolling through social media. Get outside, get grounded. Understand like things. So many things happen to us in life, but we just don't deal with them that well these days. And I like to say social media is a big part of that because we think everyone is living this perfect lifestyle. So everyone's depressed and nobody knows what they're doing, what's their calling. A lot of people are lost. Put the cell phones down and just get out and go communicate. All right. We have all this technology and we're the worst communicators in history. Put the phones down.
Love that piece. That is so true. So true. So how can the audience find out more, follow your journey? Where's the best place for them to go?
So on any platform, if you look up Taxdeed Wolf, you'll find us. Google Taxdeed Wolf, Instagram Taxdeed Wolf CEO, YouTube Taxdeed Wolf, every platform Taxdeed Wolf. And just so you guys, just so everybody knows, the reason we call ourselves wolves, it's not just me. It's because we don't want to be sheep. Once you make that decision that you're not going to be a sheep anymore, you're not just going to do what everybody else is doing. You become a wolf. All right, you become a wolf or some sort of dominant figure, whatever animal some people call themselves lions, tigers, whatever that looks like. But when you're not a sheep anymore, you become a wolf, and that's why we kind of coined that name. Like we're the wolves. So wolves of
Love
real
it.
estate, everything, Wolf Pack Realty, all of our companies, Wolf Title, everything's Wolf Pack related.
So good, so good. So we'll have in the show notes. We'll have the event details that are coming up. So looking forward to promote that for you guys and get that message out there as well. Joseph, mate, really appreciate your time, your energy, and your expertise. Thank you for coming on the show, and excited to see how the journey continues for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.